Hello, I'm Julie Ituarte, one of the blindness skills specialists in Missouri. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to create an accessible version of a print math worksheet for a student who benefits from tactile representation but is not yet independent in using tactile graphics for 3D images. Creating a manipulative worksheet is one way to provide a student the opportunity to complete the assignment with minimal assistance. I do want to make one disclaimer before we move on to the sample manipulative worksheet. This strategy does not replace instruction on reading 2D or 3D tactile graphics, but provides a way for the student to increase independence while that skill is being mastered. Pairing the 3D and 2D tactile graphics with the real objects used in the manipulative worksheet can be provided to the student. So now on to the demonstration. A worksheet called Matching Solid Nets from mathworksheetsforkids.com was downloaded as an example for this activity. To demonstrate understanding, the student is expected to look at the 3D shapes on the print page and match it to the correct version of that shape in its net form, a 2D flattened out version. The worksheet has a list of 6 3D shapes on the left side and 6 nets listed on the right side of the worksheet. To convert this print document into a manipulative worksheet, actual objects were used. Manipulatives called folding geofigures were located for this demonstration. This is a unique commercially available product because each 3D shape, this is a cube, has a net inside that can be pulled out to show its shape in a 2D form. For example, when I pull the plastic net out of this cube, I can then flatten it out to show the net of the cube, which is basically 6 squares that are connected together and they form a cross. And now I can put it back inside its 3D form of cube. I'll now show you each of the folding geofigures used that correspond to the images on the worksheet. Column 1 on the worksheet from top to bottom are the 3D shapes for a cylinder. So here we have a geofolding cylinder, a cube, a triangular prism, a cone, a triangular pyramid, and the last one, a rectangular cube. Column 2 on the worksheet from top to bottom are the nets corresponding to the 3D shapes, and I will show those to you right now. First we have from the top is a triangular prism net, and it looks like 3 connected squares that create a rectangle shape with triangles attached to either side of the middle square. The rectangular cube is the next one, and if I pull its net out, it takes me a minute, it has 4 small rectangles that are connected on the long side and 2 small squares attached to either side of the second rectangle. The cylinder is a long, if I pull that out, is a long rectangle that when flattened out has 2 circles on either side. They're connected to the top and bottom of the long side. The cube, as we said before, if I pull that out, is made up of 6 squares that become a shape of a cross. The cone net looks like an old-fashioned women's fan when it's flattened out with a circle on top. A triangular pyramid flattens to a large triangle with small triangles in the middle, 1 small triangle in the middle and 3 smaller triangles connected around the outside. A braille label was added to each outside of each 3D shape, numbers 1 through 6, and a braille label of A through F was added to the nets for each one. The braille answer sheet contains the title of the worksheet, a space for the student's name, directions, and a numbered list of 1 through 6. The student puts the worksheet into the Braille writer to document their responses to 1 through 6, using letters A through F, which correspond to the net they selected for each 3D shape. Using this setup, the student can explore each shape on its own and pull it out of the 3D shape and pull out the net, and they can explore it and enter their responses using a Perkins Brailler or a Braille display attached to an iPad or computer. If the Braille display is used, the worksheet must be provided to the student in an accessible format. With this initial planning and setup, the student can be as independent as possible when completing a worksheet similar to this one. If you have any additional questions, feel free to contact one of the blindness skills specialists. Thank you.